such a big, important moment because it was something that Americans had been working towards for so long. Over 400,000 Americans worked on the Apollo program, and it made it a success. So many people who are creating the technology that it's going to allow humans to live on Mars, they're working on it right now, and they're pushing the boundaries of everything we know about how we live and work in space and everything like that. So I think the way that it inspires invention and creativity in so many different facets of our life makes it so important. Space Camp is a week-long astronaut training experience for students as young as 7, and we go all the way through adult Space Camp. When you're here at Space Camp, we teach you about the history of manned space flight under the biggest rocket created by man. We teach you about how astronauts live and work in space, and we give you an opportunity to experience a simulated mission where you'll have a job just like a real person at NASA does. I think that space exploration will continue to expand our knowledge about the world around us in ways that are literally unfathomable right now.
Learning to be an astronaut's not easy, guys. It's not all the fame and glory it looks like. I'm definitely nauseous. It was definitely, I've always had a huge respect for astronauts, everyone that's kind of pioneered the final frontier, the new frontier. But just going through the training itself, holy cow, rigorous. Taxing on the body, on the mind, on the soul. I don't usually get too motion sick on rides. This isn't a ride by any means, but definitely was a physical experience, and I'm definitely disoriented. Training as far as becoming an astronaut, which is always what I wanted to be when I was little, and like actually going through space camp and having those experiences, it just opens my eyes to the people before us and kind of what they had to push themselves through to become who they are.
Really don't like to admit this, but I actually remember watching the landing on the moon, and it was one of those experiences that even though I was a child, it was just amazing to me to sit and think that there could possibly be people walking on it. And I think when you think that way, when you look up at something that seems so far away and realize that a human being has stepped on that and has explored that, it really opens up the possibility of what we can do as human beings.
When you are watching this film, be sure to listen to it, because when you hear the switches being flipped, when you hear footsteps down the gantry stepping into the capsule, even the breathing on the moon, he even went to the place where they made the original spacesuits so he could get authentic spacesuits to zip and clap to click on the pieces too, and so it's an amazing effort on his part, and I applaud him for that. So this vehicle behind me actually went to the moon, but it sat on top of a rocket that was 363 feet tall. How brave these people were. I mean, these are true pioneers in every sense of the word.
I mean, if we can accomplish that, what can't we accomplish?
I thought I knew something about the moon landing and about Neil Armstrong, and once I started doing research on this, I realized I knew next to nothing about the reality of how hard it was, how costly, how dangerous, and imagining that they, basically latched themselves to missiles and hurled themselves into space and went further than any human being had ever gone. I certainly came away with a great appreciation for that. I hope that audiences watching the movie come away just even more wowed by what human beings are capable of. You're not just doing a movie about any real person, you're also doing a movie about an icon, an iconic event. We were kind of, I think, very aware the whole time of the fact that we were doing a movie about, someone's dad, someone's husband, someone's son. We worked a ton with Neil's family to just try to get a sense of what the real guy was like, the guy behind the myth, what he was like at home, what he was like on the ground, how he found that balance between work and life. So you feel like you're there on the ground with him, you're sort of observing these moments with him and his wife Janet and his kids, Rick and Mark, and then you're strapping into the capsule when he gets into it. You're hurling off into space. You see what he sees, you hear what he hears. So we tried to spend time with everyone who knew Neil. We went to NASA, we went to the Cape. We shot here at the Cape a little bit. We sent all the actors to basically astronaut boot camp so they could get full-on physical training, zero G, strapping into these capsules. Ryan took pilot lessons, just trying to, I guess all of us, me, Ryan, the rest of the cast, trying to figure out physically, technically, what we needed to learn, what we needed to know to do this story justice.
got to do like what Lucas is describing is like the ideal field trip.
We got to see the real moon rocks. We had a lunch of the actual like space food. We had like a whole, spread with all the different space food. We got to do the zero gravity Argos. We did so many cool things. I mean, it was just like, really a dream come true.
We had the family meeting, and Dad really started out with the story about the mission and what they were going to do, and I thought he had a 50-50 chance of actually landing on the moon, but they were confident they were coming home, but that there was some risk in this mission.
We both left that meeting not being worried that this mission had affected everyone and made them want to be better at whatever it was that they cared about. The only reason it happened is because 400,000 people worked together. They had one shared vision, and they all wanted to do their part to make it happen.
If you can go land on the moon, why can't you do X, Y, or Z? Apollo landings were just kind of like the landmark, the model.
There's a moment in the movie where Neil's asked, why explore space? What we have Ryan say is something he actually discovered as he was doing his research, which is a quote from an interview of Neil, where Neil talks about the perspective, looking down at the atmosphere from space once he had gone up, in the Gemini, or the X-15, and how the atmosphere, think about it, looks pretty big from where we're standing, but once you get up above it, it looks pretty thin and small and delicate. And then he goes on to say, I think that once you get up there, you're going to see things that we don't know, that we haven't thought of, and maybe we should have thought of a long time ago, but just haven't been able to until now because of that shift in perspective.
So there you have it. Childhood dreams do come true. I got to train like an astronaut and see what they went through for the brand new movie, First Man. I'll have a link down below in the description. I have seen it. It is absolutely incredible. Emotionally, just from a filmmaking standpoint, because that's what I'm always looking at, I thought it was masterfully done. So definitely check it out in theaters. I'll have a link down below in the description. Once again, thanks to Space Camp. They put up with me for several days going through all these incredible experiences. It was a childhood dream. Dreams do become reality. Thanks again, Universal Pictures and First Man, for such an incredible experience. Thank you so much for watching. Over and out.